thank all the faculty members for doing an excellent job. And in this session, it's basically introducing a concept of an endomyometral junction, wherein this is largely coming in the last 5 years, saying that this has a lot of ramifications for future management of uterine problems and in adenomyosis. The junctional zone is the area where outside the normal 3-line sign, that's where most of the perfusion occurs, and that's where the implantation of the embryo happens. And also, that's where the changes of the blood supply to the baby happens in terms of changing the collagen structure of the vessels here. The objective of this lecture is, one is to say that endometrial myometrial junction is a distinct entity. It has clear methods of assessing them, and we'll also tell where it can be useful and how. In a cross section of the uterus, you have the outer myometrium, the lower myometrium, the basal endometrium, and the functional endometrium. The endometrial zone forms the area between these two, and it's here all the changes that occur in the menstrual cycle or in the early part of pregnancy or in adenomyosis. If there's a change in the endometrial myometrial junctional zone, you might not have good implantation of process. If you have a disorder here, there's also a possibility of inadequate blood supply to the pregnancy. And third thing is, it is helping us to understand a bit more about adenomyosis. And adenomyosis is basically coming down to a problem of junctional zone. The terminology for endomyometrial junctional zone are varied from country to country and by the author to author. Some people write it as uterine junctional zone. Some people say archimyometrium, stratum vasculature. Some people say endomyometrial interface, and some people say subendometrium myometrium blood flow point. So the EMJ, that is endometrial myometrial junctional zone, can be mean all of these things. And as the clarity of this concept improves, these words will disappear. One can ask, why did endomyometrial junctional zone was not discussed earlier? One is, it's not completely seen in a B mode. At the time of the knowledge, it was felt its significance is not known and considered unimportant, and there were no perfect ways of assessing the junctional zone. Earlier, it was only by an MRI a junctional zone assessment is being done, but now it is in the reach of every obstetrician and gynecologist, where they focus in a longitudinal section and look at the subendometrium layer. The advent of the coronal plane, when a sagittal and a transverse section is taken, that is helping us to look at the junctional zone. Here you have the longitudinal section, then you have the transverse section, and here is the reconstructed image. Junctional zone is the black one here. For many years, the white space here was considered as the most important for measurement. Now it's realized that this black zone, that is the endomyometrial junctional zone, plays a key role in implantation and in dysfunctional uterine bleeding. The understanding of EMJ or endomyometrial junction is dependent on the embryological aspects, physiological and anatomical. So how can we assess in a good 2D, but most of the time in a good 3D where you have the coronal section? Here you have to look at the junctional zone throughout the triangle and see where the haziness is there. And if there is a haziness, try to reconstruct the image to see whether it's an artifact or a real problem. In the initial studies, they have taken uterus volume of 30 ml, did 3D coronal sections in UK, and then started them classifying into two subgroups. One is the junctional zone minimum and the junctional zone maximum. The junctional zone minimum comes to at this point, and the junctional zone maximum comes at this. In certain conditions, you see infiltration here, and in certain conditions, infiltration here. The group we see on a regular basis is an adenomyosis, an endometrial carcinoma, and an endometrial polyp. In all these things, the junctional zone is altered. For many years, adenomyosis was thought as a problem at the middle and outer layer of the endometrium, of the myometrium. Now it is coming into the subendometrial level, and it can be identified at least 5 years ahead of time, saying this is the probability. And with the current knowledge of not having a suitable answer for adenomyosis, somebody who has a junctional zone abnormality need to plan their pregnancy early, because once the adenomyosis sets in, their chances starts decreasing. In endometrial cancer, initially it was thought that a postmenopausal woman with a 5 mm endometrium need not have the workup of a biopsy or other things. But this has evolved into another different thing. If you are looking at the junctional zone in a endometrial carcinoma or a hyperplasia, if you don't find this clarity, that means it is infiltrating into the junctional zone and subsequently in the area of invasion. Lights off. So the importance of junctional zone is in the area of adenomyosis, in the early identification of endometrial carcinoma, where sometimes you get a report of atypical hyperplasia, and if you find a perfect junctional zone, you don't have to worry and go for a medical management. And in some endometrial polyps which have a tendency to recur, there again the junctional zone is altered. For having a good idea of what is meant by junctional zone, in adenomyosis, you see the junctional zone is increased, whereas here you are seeing in a fibroid, the junctional zone is normal. So we are essentially speaking at this interface of myometrium, endometrium to speak about the junctional zone. And every adenomyosis will have an altered junctional zone, which can vary from 10 millimeters and above to a complete whole lining or a focal area. In an adenomyosis, you see linear striations, irregular endomyometrial junction zone, and subendometrial myometrial junctional zone is altered, meaning both of them are the same thing. Here you see a uterus wherein you are not seeing the junctional zone clearly here. You can see a break here, a break here. But 2D will provide only limited amount of information in the area of junctional zone, and this is where the subsequent diagnosis of a 3D ultrasound or an MRI comes in place. If a person comes like this and who says, I may not be able to plan pregnancy in the next 5 years, one should make a workup of the endomyometrial junctional zone to see whether there is a possibility of missing adenomyosis in future or developing future. And the assessment of endometrium, it can be a focal lesion and or a general lesion.